Hi everyone, I'm just going to talk to you quickly about what you can expect for our reporting and information sharing for this year. Firstly, reporting can look different from school to school, and that's because within New Zealand we are allowed to personalise reporting so it reflects the needs, interests, and circumstances of your school. For us at Hobsonville Point, there are sort of three key drivers that influence our reporting practices. And the first is the fact that we value relationships. So we acknowledge the role that parents and families and whānau play in educating a child, and that learning can happen not only within school but outside of school as well. And so therefore, what we see is practices that are more reciprocal in nature. Another thing is the fact that we want to share meaningful information. We acknowledge that reading, writing, and maths are vital and important. However, so too are growing those lifelong learning skills, ability to reflect on themselves as learners. So we celebrate that through our reporting processes as well. And thirdly, the way in which we share information, we make it timely and real time, and students are actively engaged in reflecting upon themselves as learners. So that's why you'll receive requests to contribute to a child's reporting. We have children sometimes reflecting on their own learning and analysing next steps, as well as hearing learning advisors' voice as well. Schools now have the ability to work from research that tells us about what effective reporting and information sharing can look like. And that's what this images that you're looking at here. This is from the Ministry of Education. And you'll notice on the right, these are sort of the indicators we're looking for in our reporting now. And I'm sharing it because it looks so different to when potentially you're at school or when I was at school. So we no longer have that paper report that goes out a couple of times a year. Information is now shared continuously. We have children and families actively involved. And what our focus is on now is describing and supporting what learning and progress has taken place, rather than that idea of it being this success or fail idea. It's actually about recognizing kids are at all different stages, but the most important part of that is actually how can we support them at school and at home and strengthen those relationships regardless of where they're at. What you can see on the screen is all the different parts of our reporting. So starting bottom left, we have our hero posts. So this is the main way in which we share information in written form, although sometimes there'll be mixed media in there as well with videos. In that, we're going to talk about what we're noticing about your child as a learner in the classroom and also outside of the classroom. We'll be talking about how they're engaging in their learning, their attitudes towards learning, any big sort of celebrations in terms of dispositional growth or growth of understanding, knowledge, or skills. Occasionally, you will see a purist English or mathematics post that will be included in there as well. If we have any concerns about your child, we'll get in touch first. It's not a forum in which we would be sharing explicitly that we have concerns. It's visible for the children. By design, it's supposed to be motivating, celebrate every child's individual strengths, and also be sharing with you about how you might support your child at home. Another area of our information sharing is celebrations of learning. Usually we'd be inviting you in to see showcases and presentations of learning that our children would be presenting. However, with COVID times, sometimes it might have to take place via Zoom. And more we're noticing we're having to take those sort of celebrations and embed them under that learner profile through those learning posts. But when we can, we'll be inviting you in to celebrate alongside the children. Another thing we do is IEMs. These are student-led conferences. This is where we give children increasing ability to reflect on their learning and take responsibility for their own learning with support when appropriate. So in this, we'll be celebrating, again, any big growth areas for your child, how you might support at home, what your children are excited by in their learning, and have those really cool reciprocal conversations about what you're noticing at home and how you might support at home. As part of Hero, we have learning goals turned on, and these are quite technical language. We acknowledge that straight from the NZC. However, what they do is they inform radial graphs that demonstrate your child's progress through the levels within the New Zealand curriculum. Broadly speaking, children have roughly a couple of years in which to engage and consolidate their understanding at these goals. So, for example, in year one, they might start engaging in level one, and by the end of year two, we'd like to see them consolidating goals. It's all explained on the info page within Hero. What you can do is keep an eye out for that, because over time it's designed to represent their progress through reading, writing, and maths. They're big, meaty goals, so it's not the sort of thing you tick off in a week. It's sort of a really long, slow process. However, what we do is we convert those into plain speak, into something quite constructive for students and in our families, in those Hero posts in the learning profile. There's also other practices that you might see that are specific to different learning commons. So, for example, you might get invited in to listen to your child pitch a project idea. And at that point, your voice would be welcome as well. But that again depends on different learning commons and what the priorities are, and the age and sort of development of the children. So they're just a few different parts of our reporting and overall information sharing. We'll try and share more information at sort of key important points in time with you. If you have any questions in the meanwhile, please don't hesitate in getting hold of your child's learning advisor. We work on a premise of no surprises, so learning advisors would certainly be in touch with you if they had any concerns. And likewise, if you have any concerns, please don't hesitate in getting in touch with us. Thank you very much.